Hey everybody, Wing Rider. I had my dad's old 92 Ford F-150 out. He's 86, he doesn't drive it anymore, so the rest of us keep it and drive it. And I got it out and washed it, cleaned it up. Had to fix a switch on the dash yesterday. The fuel switch here where it fell out the back of the dash, so I did my fiberglass and glue thing and it ain't coming out again. And 82,000 miles on it. But I noticed a exhaust leak on it, and I got down into it. If the camera will focus in on it, you can see it. There, see it's cracked. The manifold's cracked right in two. See the two cracks there? It goes right down the middle of it, cracked right in two. So I'm going to replace that. I'm going to do a video on that today for you. I took my PB blaster. I love this stuff, man. Liquid wrench. And I soaked down all the bolts for the pipe down there and everything. I'm going to do that before I go to the parts store. I'm going to take the KLR, go see if I can get a manifold and a gasket. And I'm not sure if it's got the little, Ford usually has them little donut gaskets on the exhaust pipe. Chevrolet was just made into the pipe, but I'll see. I don't remember. I used to be a diesel mechanic. I started in high school actually, and then after school every day working and worked full time there for a while. And when I was 25, I stopped diesel mechanic and I joined the Florida Highway Patrol and retired as a Florida Highway Patrol officer. But I still remember how to do it. So I'm gonna take the KLR. I'm gonna go to the parts store, see if I can get the parts, and I'm gonna take you along with me on this exhaust manifold repair. And do a little riding too. It's like 56, 57, it's warming up, but it's a beautiful day today, so everything's in blooming. But anyway, I'm gonna take you along with me. So hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, told you I'd be right back. So let me fire up the KLR. It is cold, so let's see. Come on, there you go, guy. There you go. Let her warm up for a second. I'm gonna get a little mechanical work done on the truck and get the ride too, and you're gonna come along. All right. Replacing that manifold is a fairly simple job. The hardest part is if the nuts come loose, which I soaked them down, so they shouldn't be a problem. And some mechanical things are simple. For some people they're all difficult, but I was a mechanic, trained mechanic. I was ASE certified and everything, planning a career in it, but it just wasn't going anywhere. I wanted a career with a decent retirement, and I looked into the Florida retirement system and decided, well, what part of do I want to get into? And I liked law enforcement, and it turned out that high risk pays a lot better. You can retire sooner with better money, and Florida Highway Patrol is definitely high risk. Matter of fact, I almost got my ass shot off once. I was cut, I was stabbed, but I survived, and I had a good career. And my philosophy was treat people as best as you can. They cooperate better. You know, let them know that you care, that you're not some maniac with a badge. You know, it's just a job. And you can talk your way out of more fights than you can by losing your temper and getting in a fight with somebody who's drunk or having a bad day. They're venting. Let them vent. And go easy until it's time not to be. But you'll know when that is. When it becomes threatening to you, then you change modes. But you only go as far as you absolutely need to go. That's it. It's all about respect and tolerance. So anyway, we're gonna fix that truck, my dad's old truck there. And to keep this from being too long, I'm gonna cut this off. I'll get back with you when I get to the parts store, so hang in there, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm back. I went to the parts store and They didn't have the manifold. They'll have it this afternoon, so I ordered it and they'll call me and I'll go back and get it. Oh, in the meantime, I'm taking this one off, but I got one of the nuts off the pipe there where it bolts to the manifold. The other one, I'm working on it. I just spray them down again and it's going really slow. We'll take a break for a minute and come back and get that one. Oh, and I got a excuse me. Piece of junk creeper that won't cooperate. Whew. And I got to get these up here. It's not a bad project. It's just when you're 55 and you got a bad back, you got to take your time. But once I get the thing off, I'll come back with you and I'll show you. It's split right in two. I got to breathe there for a minute. All right. I also need to get the lawnmower out over there. And let me show you. Yesterday I went to start my lawnmower. I've never seen this happen before, but it started and I heard a dang and then a bang, bang, and a rattling. What happened was the armature shaft, where it just snapped off, and this part was rattling around against the flywheel, so I shut it off, went to start it back up, and it just spun. I never seen one of these break before, so I went to a lawnmower place and bought a used one for 45 bucks. The new one's 156, and I replaced that on the snapper. Let me go show you over here, and I'm gonna have to get this one. But I put it on there and it works fine. I want to take the blades off and sharpen them here in a little bit. I mowed for a little while, but there's the starter right there. 2 bolts and this, and it comes right off. But I've never seen that happen before. And like I say, it starts, it runs fine. And I took the valve cover off to check the valves. Maybe I thought maybe the valves out of just because it'll turn, it'll stop, and then you bump it and it'll start it, it'll go. But this one is the upgraded model LT2000. It has hydraulic lifters, apparently, because there's no adjustment on the valves. And it has the pressurized oil system with a pump and a filter, cast iron front axle, big rear tires. It's a lawn and garden tractor. But anyway, that's what I did yesterday, fixing that. And a lot of mechanical stuff lately. But anyway, I got a chance to take the KLR out and go to the parts store, and anyway, I'll get back with you when I get the new when I get this one off. I'll get back with you. But while I'm waiting, it's like 12:30, and they'll call me when the other one comes in about 3. So in the meantime, I'm gonna sharpen the blades on the mower. I'm gonna take this one off. As soon as I get that off, I'll get back with you and I'll show it to you. So see you in a minute. Well, actually, see you in just immediately for you. Okay, I've got the first half of the broken manifold off. I'm working on the second. I'm breaking loose these bolts here. Let me break this one loose. The camera's in the way, so I'm just doing this to show you a couple of things here. Getting in here to break that thing loose. Okay. It took me a little while to get that last manifold bolt out, but there are the 2 halves. The manifold, it just came apart as I took it off. That last bolt was a bear to get out. It started to round off. But I messed around and found out that a 14 millimeter 6-pointed boxed in wrench is what took it out. A 92 Ford F-150, and I'm thinking 9/16, right? Yeah. It's 14 millimeter, 92 Ford. Sorry, a 92 Ford F-150 with a 302, 14 millimeter exhaust manifold bolts, not 9/16. So much for American made, right? Anyway, it was a bear getting that thing off of there. I struggled with it for just a little bit. I finally got it off. I'm going to light up the situation here a little bit. But I finally got the thing off of there. And now I'm just waiting for the new one to come so I can get it back in there. But man, that last one, of course, now that I know it's 14 millimeter wrench, it'll be easier. So anyway, I'll get back with you. Okay, I'm back again. I don't know if the new manifold will come with these studs right here. This is where the exhaust pipe goes in. I had to put some heat on this with a torch to get these to break loose, but I did get them out without stripping them off, but they're not in the best of shape. Something else strange. This is the factory manifold. The other one's already been replaced in the garage a few years ago because it broke in half too. But with this one, in the dark down here, sorry about that. But with this one, there's not a sign of a gasket. I mean zero. And them bolts were tight, man. The manifold was broken in half, but the bolts were really tight. And there's no sign of any gasket at all. Not there, not on the manifold. No gasket. Did Ford do that from the factory? Was it just machined to where the head in this was just so flat they didn't put a gasket in there? Because even after years of it, you know, this is rusted here, but even after years there would still be a hint of some bit of a gasket there, but there's none. Now this manifold over here, it was replaced already, and there's a gasket there. I remember when my brother-in-law's shop, that one was broken in half and they replaced it. But Fords are kind of, these old 302s are, these old Fords are, this happened sometime right between the middle part of it. But no gasket at all. But the new one was $79. The gasket kit's $19. But they should call me the parts store. They had to get it, but they should have it about 3 o'clock, they said. So, but anyway, that's where I'm at so far. Putting it back is going to be a hell of a lot easier than it was taking it off, because the rear bolt, as I was telling you, is 14 millimeter. The rear bolt was a son of a buck to get off. It started to round off until I realized it was a 14 millimeter. Instead of SAE, it's metric. Oh, check out the big helicopter up there. I don't know, can I get it? This old Sikorsky Blackhawk, I guess. Military helicopter. Am I even getting it? I can't tell. Anyway, but that's where I'm at. And it's simple to get off. It's just the bolts. Man, they're bare. I had to soak them and work on it to get them off. But going back on is going to be a lot easier. But as far as mechanical repair, this is just minor. This I can do in my sleep. But I finally got all the bolts and everything out. But like I said, I hope the new manifold comes with these studs right here. If it doesn't, I'll have to use these. But I did get them out after I put some heat on it. So I'll get back with you here in a little bit as soon as the parts come in, and I'll show you the new manifold, and we'll just go from there. Be back. Well, for you it'll be a split second. For me it'll be a couple hours, so see you shortly. Okay, I'm back. I haven't got the new manifold just yet, but I wanted to touch base on something and see what your opinion was. On these Fords, these manifolds are kind of notorious for breaking in half. In fact, this one was starting to split again. But you remember I was talking about there's no gasket from the factory on here. It's machined and there's no give. It's bolted metal to metal. And there's a space between these two. And you can see how black it is here. It's been broke for quite a while. But I'm thinking that that's why these things are, you know, they break like that. There's no gasket in there. There's no give, nothing. There's no gasket. It's just metal to metal. And I don't really understand why they didn't put a gasket on it. I mean, if it's machined, perfectly machined, and the block's machined, and they fit perfect, it won't leak. But still, I think that's why they're breaking in half. That's my opinion only. I may be wrong, but that's just my opinion on the subject. But the new one's got gaskets, so I'm going to put the gaskets on the new one. But anyway, I just wanted to touch base with that. And on the video, I'm doing little spurts here and there, and I'm using my editor to combine the video. So if the quality's not that great, I'm no expert editor. I'm just doing the best I can. So hopefully there'll be one video and all the pieces will be spliced together, one right after the other. But anyway, that's could be another reason why I had such a hard time getting them bolts out. I really don't know. But the new one should go on much easier than that. But let me know what you think about it. You know, no gasket from the factory. I'm thinking that could be the reason they split like that. Like I said, I could be wrong. I do not know. That's just my opinion only. Anyway, when the new gasket comes, I'm going to take the KLR there. I'm going to run and get it. Man, you can buzz right through town around on this thing. Man, that thing is fantastic. Anyway, I'll get back with you when I get the new manifold. I didn't show taking it off because there's no way to prop up the camera. And I got a stand for it, but you know, trying to get it to stand there, I could have used a GoPro, I guess. I got a headband for my GoPro. I could have probably used that, but I didn't think about that. I could have put it on a medium view and done that, and it probably been turned out okay. But anyway, like I said, I'm not an expert filmmaker, but I thought you might be interested in this project that I'm working on. So get right back with you. It shouldn't be much longer. They should call me when the parts come in, and I'll show you when I get back with the new manifold. See you in just a minute, for you it'll be just instantaneous. So see you. Okay, back once more. Got the new manifold, brand spanking new. It came with the gasket. It also came with the new studs to go in there. I was wondering about that. I had to get these old ones. These old ones I used to torch and heat it up and got them out, but I didn't need to. So I'm going to put the new manifold on there, and I might turn the camera on for a minute. I just want to get it done, but I'll see if I can get a little bit of it anyway. If not, I'll show you when I get finished with it. So be right back. Okay, final video. I've got the new manifold on there. It took a little bit and got my hands, I mean, I'm just about a mess here. But it's on there. And I already started it up. It's running nice and quiet, like it should. Turkey. It's cold right now, but popping back through the, I need to make sure I got my wires on there right. Anyway, no more exhaust leak. So we're all good, man. I'm gonna check the fire in order and we'll catch you later.